There are a lot of community banks, smaller banks, local banks that did not act irresponsibly. They weren't involved in, buying some of these weird financial instruments that didn't work. They're not paying out $100 million bonuses. You don't look like you got a $5 million bonus. You wish, right? They're working with local businesses, small contractors. They take in deposits. They do what banks are supposed to do. They're still having some problems, local community banks, and they're having problems in two areas. Number one is a lot of these community banks give Small Business Administration loans, SBA loans, that are guaranteed by the federal government. But the problem is that historically what they've done is they get the loans and then they sell them on what's called the secondary market. They sell them to other parties who invest in these loans. The problem is all these secondary markets have all frozen up right now because everybody's so nervous about all these losses that have been happening on Wall Street. So we just announced this week a program that will allow the Treasury Department to buy these loans directly from the community bank. So if you've got $5 million worth of loans, SBA loans already on the books, you can sell them to Treasury. That will then mean that you'll have $5 million that you can now put back to work providing loans without worrying about your capital ratio. You should find out, this is on our website, the White House website. It will tell you about this program. Now, you're right, though, we still have a problem that a lot of small businesses are seeing their credit lines restricted, and part of that has to do with the issue you're talking about, which is regulators may be saying to banks, look, we're worried about all these losses, so pull back on what you consider riskier loans. Well, if you've got a credit line to a small business and they're seeing some of their business dry up right now, then you might be saying to yourself, maybe I can't continue that credit line. We don't have direct authority. The White House does not have direct authority over these regulators. These regulators are supposed to be somewhat independent from politics. But we have had conversations to note that during a difficult period like this, we want to make sure that the bottom line is ultimately that liquidity and lending is going out the door, and I think that we're going to be having broader conversations with the community banks to figure out how can we take even further steps to help them be in a position to help the small businesses and individuals who depend so much on banks like yours. Okay?